So the whole of the UK discovered how funny you were with your segment on the 11 o'clock show, but I just wondered when you yourself realised you had the ability to make people laugh and how that kind of manifested itself.
I think, well, my first ever comedy sketch, I was 7 years old. And I don't think many people laughed, actually, but I really enjoyed it. And then, I don't know, I ended up writing sketches from about the age of 7 onwards. I got obsessed, found out about Monty Python. My brothers actually smuggled me in to see Life of Brian when I was 8 or 9 years old. And it kind of blew my mind, which probably it should have done because it was an X, or the equivalent of an 18 now. And it was actually banned in parts of England. So if you go, why have I got such a twisted mind? It's probably from that early experience of seeing Python. And yeah, from then on, I just started writing comedy, really writing sketches and trying to be funny, often failing, but occasionally succeeding.
You talk about Monty Python, that they known for being quite extreme, and you definitely push the envelope with your comedy. Are there ever times when you think, oh, we're bringing it a bit too far, we better sort of pull that back a bit?
Yeah, definitely. There are, you've got to have some kind of responsibility when you're making a film, that you're not just being offensive for the sake of being offensive, and you're not conforming to any racial stereotypes or, basically not being a twat. I can have the character be an idiot, but I think there is a bit of a responsibility when you make a film. So when I'm writing a joke that's near the edge, there's always a discussion with me and my co-writers as to whether it's the right thing to do.
Can you give us a bit of an insight into the creation process of someone like Nobby, how you come up with a character, and if it's different each time, different characters?
So what I like to do is I like to research the area. With Ali G it was easy because I was a break dancer from the age of about 11 to 15, old school b-boy. So I knew that whole world intimately. Africa Bambaataa, the Soul Sonic Force. So in a way, I was a kind of Ali G, a middle-class boy who was trying to be this kind of black ghetto gangster rapper. But with the other characters, I do research. So Borat, I ended up learning a lot about Eastern Europe and some of the ex-Soviet bloc countries, not particularly Kazakhstan. And then with the Dictator, I ended up going on a tour of the Middle East, spending time in various Arab countries and hanging out with members of the royal family of some of them and meeting various sort of very powerful individuals. So with Nobby, I went on a tour of kind of the northeast of England, north of England, various towns and cities, wanting to meet dads who had like 11 kids, some of them more of them, and trying to work out what made them tick, and also just looking into that thing of, are they really scroungers that they're depicted as? Are they really the baddies of society? And what I've found out in places like Grimsby and a lot of towns up north is the reason why a lot of these people are on the dole is because there are no jobs in those towns. Grimsby in itself, there was a big fishing industry, it got shut down. And so there are huge swathes of the town that are derelict. And so you have a choice. If you're a dad, you can either go on the dole and probably try and get as much money as you can from the dole, or you can leave your family and try and work in another city, go down south. So I think the, vilification of them, of those people, is sometimes completely unjust. And that was the real eye-opener.
And what about when it came to the voice? How did you find sort of getting the accent and maintaining it, maybe compared to something like some of the other characters you mentioned, like Ali G and Borat and Bruno?
So I loved the name Grimsby. I just thought it'd be great if this James Bond's brother lives in a place called Grimsby. Went up to Grimsby, and the accent was too non-distinct for me. So I ended up sort of melding and mashing up some sort of Yorkshire accents and, some Bolton and various things together. So there'll be a lot of people who look at it and go, that's not a Grimsby accent, and they're right, it's not. So it's like a unique thing. In the way that Borat is not a Kazakhstani accent. I wanted to make a Markstrom accent. No one really is speaking like this from Kazakhstan. They speak more like this.
And tell us about Rebel Wilson. There's a very romantic relationship with her. What did you how impressed were you with how she approached playing Dawn? And when you
Yeah,
thought about
she
working
was
with her?
great, actually. I mean, she went up to the north of England as well and sort of went around chip shops and, you know, sort of spent a week there, actually, to try and learn the accent and try and learn the create a character. And she was great. I mean, we ended up with these 9 kids in this house shooting these scenes. And in the end, you kind of turn into a family because we had all these kids who, you know, I thought, who are the kids who are going to play, you know, be part of the family? And originally they sent down a bunch of drama school kids or young people who wanted to be famous. They were all terrible and they were all totally unreal. I said, we want to have real kids from real working class backgrounds. And so we did this huge search around the whole of the north of England and brought in these really tough, great kids. And in the end, we shot some of the interior scenes of Grimsby in South Africa. And it was their first time out of England. And we actually, you end up really bonding, and it turned into this kind of crazy family on set. And I think you get some of that's conveyed in the movie. But they're great kids. Some of them are hopefully coming tonight.
Sacha Baron Cohen, thanks very much.
Cheers, mate.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey, you guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yeah.
Nice.
Hey,